should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. Preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing.
What up? What is happening? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And on the phone line is the very funny comedian known as Stacey Prussman. She is live on the show. How's it going?
Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody?
Nothing much. I had you on my show about 2 years ago when I did a radio show at my radio school. So it's been about 2 years. So how's everything been?
Good, not bad. Just having a great time. Just it's cold here in New York, and it's just doing different things. I know. I think I was. I remember speaking to you. I was in Connecticut or something. I was doing a show, and I called you from the road.
That's what it was, because you called in randomly. And the thing about how I do radio, which I'm proud of, is it's very laid back. Like a lot of shows would have had you on and it would have been a 5-minute plug. But if I remember right, I think we talked for like 25 minutes and it was a really laid back segment. Yeah,
it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And I always see you posting your stuff, and I keep up with you and everything. So it sounds like you're doing really well. Are you in Florida now?
Yeah, I'm in Tampa Bay. I work at 102.5 The Bone in promotions, and then I do this podcast here at their place. So I'm very honored they let me. My show's better than ever, you know?
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's great. I know I see you on Facebook and social media with all your stuff. That's totally amazing. So, I do Audie's show on Thursdays. I do my own show a couple of times a week, the Stacey Prussman Hour. And my middle name is Hope, which is funny, which is with one P. And I've been just touring a lot of doing different shows and working on a sitcom right now. I'm writing a sitcom hopefully it'll go into production next year. So that's fun. And that's what I'm doing right now. That's pretty much my life.
What made you want to write a sitcom? What type of sitcom is it? Would it be a laugh track? Would it be one camera? What type of sitcom do you see this playing out as?
It's written as a one camera, dark comedy with no laugh track, like something that would be on FX or, God willing, HBO or something on that nature.
Yeah.
Showtime, that type of sitcom. It's much too dark for network, you know. And I've already gone to LA to pitch it. So, you know, now I'm just finishing up the pilot and then sending the pilot to the people I pitched it to. So hopefully it will come out the way I want it to, you know, at least on paper. It's starting to come together, which is really exciting.
How many times do you look over the same sheet of like paper for this episode? Like, do you sometimes overthink it and go, do I need to add this or do I need to take out this? Or is there some point where you're very happy with what you wrote and then it's out of your hands? Ooh. Like, what's it like when you're writing a sitcom?
Well, this is a pilot. So the pilot, generally you're trying to sell the show. And if the pilot is really well written, it's much more likely that you'll sell the show or get a development deal or something. So, or at least get it made until the pilot made. So I'm trying to. It's going okay. And I don't look it over and over, but it can. Things aren't solid once you write it. Once you go into production, things change a lot too. So I just wanted to really capture the characters and the story, the feel, and that's what I'm really aiming for as I write. But I look it over a lot. And as you do scene to scene, I've been writing in this particular show. I'm writing it from scene to scene to scene because that's how I'm able to function and write well. It's like, so obviously most people do that too, but so I'm imagining the outline of the show, and then from there, I'm filling it in, but they're based on real events for the most part. So I'm just trying to recreate the events, but also, tell the story I'm using my real events to tell the story, even though it's not totally based on my life, but parts of it is based on my life. So
that's a very good thing that it's real, because a lot of these sitcoms that you see have the same laugh track. I'm not going to say any of the names because I don't want to throw them under the bus.
I talked to my mom last night because my mom and I were talking, and she was watching what was she watching? Mike and Molly or something like that, and they're fine for what they are. Like I think what happened was growing up, those kinds of sitcoms were very big. Like obviously Seinfeld was one of the better ones. Everyone Loves Raymond was one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Obviously, King of Queens, and then there was now there's Two Broke Girls, and I think I don't really watch. I like Everyone Loves Raymond a lot.
Oh, I love that show. It's on Netflix
it has
now.
a lot of heart.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great show. And so obviously, everyone loves Seinfeld. That's like a hit show. But in terms of like the sitcoms now, they're like dum. Like it's like after you see a sitcom like Louie or Marin or Gaffigan or like
Curb.
other shows. Or Curb, Curb, exactly. It's hard to go back to that sort of like the Dump show with the laugh tracks. You know, like it's hard to watch unless it is something like Everyone Loves Raymond, which is so incredible, you know, and it just was so well done. It's hard to sort of like, I don't think that way.
Yeah.
When I'm writing, I don't think like an Everyone Loves Raymond. I think of more like a Curb or a Louie or something. I don't know why. Just that's the way I like that you can go that dark. I don't like I don't like the sort of like the networky thing. It's not going to work for me anymore. Maybe I think years ago when I was acting, I did audition a lot. I had some small parts on shows, but like I feel like now when I'm creating my own thing, I think thank God we have Netflix, we have Amazon, and people can sell their shows to these other networks as well. So it kind of gives you a different type of platform as well. So it gives more freedom of our artistic freedom, and it's not so dum, like laugh track, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can't take the laugh track anymore. It actually takes me out of the show, even if the show is funny.
Yeah.
I can't listen to the laugh track. So
it's the worst.
It's the worst, and it's sort of like kind of hacky now that we're in like a different. I think we're in different sort of like worlds because we have reality television, which I don't like. But it's reality, so people are used to watching things that are real or supposedly real. Because nothing is really real, obviously. So, so people, when they watch shows, they kind of want that same feeling of it sort of being real. They wanted the suspension of disbelief to be that they're really watching these people. So when you have a laugh track, it kind of takes you out of it. You might as well be doing theater at that point, So I think that's what's going on now. I think television comedy is changing a bit.
I think ABC, Fox, NBC must be worried because Netflix, HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Amazon Prime, FX, all these different networks are taking over, and they're just doing the same old crap, the same cop dramas, the same reality crap, the same sitcoms. I mean, the fact that The Big Bang Theory is one of the most watched TV shows shows that there's nothing on because that show has been the same since it first came out.
I know. The funniest thing, one of the girls I started out with in comedy, nicest girl in the world, Melissa Rausch, she's been on the show for a few years already. God bless her. She must make millions of dollars. But she's been on. I started out doing stand-up with her in like maybe 10 years ago, and she's a bit longer than that, maybe 12 years ago. Now she's been on that show. So I never watched the show, but I'm happy she has a part on it. But she plays Bernadette, and
Oh, really? That's Howard's wife. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a nice girl in real life, really great girl. I'm so glad for her success, But yeah, I mean, those shows do well. They're easy to watch. I think because those shows are easier to watch, they're simple. You don't have to think about anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you have to they're not dark. They're pretty light in subject, and I think that they serve its purpose. Right? They're weird. It does well. I don't know why. And then some shows are great and they get canceled. So I don't understand network television at all, to be honest with you.
How dark would your show get? Like, how dark do you see it playing out if it were to get picked up?
It's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. It deals with a lot of. I'm not going to go into specifics right now, but it deals with a lot of issues that a lot of shows don't deal with. It gets dark, but it's not grossly dark. Where it's like, oh, I can't watch it. It's dark and funny, and it's based on a lot of real events that happened to me. And the character's interesting in terms of her work, and she's not a comedian. I'll just say that much about the character, but she has a job that not a lot of characters have had on sitcom or on any television show so far. And so it's a pretty interesting show. And I'm excited about it because I think it's going to be, once I get it fully written and everything, and it's almost done, and we hopefully go into production, I think it's going to be exciting to see how it's viewed by the networks and whoever is watching it. So we'll see. It's I've had a few meetings about it already, so I've been really focusing on that more than anything right now, other than my own stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's really what I've been doing. It's hard to write because you have to be in your own zone, so to speak. You have to be in like a certain kind of head, and it's hard to get into that place in your head to write. So, I have a friend I write with a little bit, so it's going well. I mean, I'm gonna just like try to like just finish it up in the next couple of weeks, and then I can like be free.
Would you ever say you find yourself like burning out over this sitcom and doing comedy and doing the podcast, or are things going good?
I don't. I'm not burning out. No, not at all. I enjoy doing all the podcasts. This year I got to go on a lot of different ones. I was on Anthony's a few times.
Nice.
Anthony Cumia's. I did. He actually let me interview him for my podcast at his studio, which is wonderful. I love that staff. God bless. I do Artie's every week. I've been doing it since May with Mike, and I used to do Bob's show with him. It's fun. I enjoy it. I do my own show. I've had some interesting guests. I don't burn out. I find I get fed on creative energy. Being around such funny, talented people, it's fun. I mean, sometimes I do a lot of shows in Manhattan, and I enjoy that, but sometimes that can burn me out a little bit. Because late night show, doing a 1:30 show, with in front of 10 tourists could get kind of depressing, but I'm not complaining. I'm very grateful for the shows, but that's the only thing that really kind of burns me out sometimes. Like sometimes doing these shows, I don't know if you've been in the city lately in Manhattan, but the show's all night, and it's hard to get spots. And when you do get a spot, you're very grateful, but sometimes it's like in front of a 12 tourist. It's like 1:30 in the morning. So it depends. But you have to be in the right state of mind, I think, to do, because that could be exhausting for me in the winter, going to do late night spots. But other than that, I'm pretty grateful and pretty happy. As long as my energy stays creative, I feel happy. If I feel stagnant, then I get burnt out very easily. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your take on the winter? Like, does it make you like sad? Do you have less energy? Like, does it hurt or help your work?
I can't. It's too well. It's gotten worse for me. I don't know if I'm getting older, but it's gotten like I never loved it.
Yeah.
To begin with, but I get like itchy when it's about to snow. I get headaches when it's going to snow. Like I get everything. For some reason, the snow is weird with me. I have a weird reaction to the snow. I'm like allergic to it. In college. I used to get a rash on my neck every time it was going to snow. I called it a snow rash, and I don't know. I get very bad seasonal sad seasonal affective disorder.
Me too.
So I just want to sleep. I just literally want to sleep. Like I can literally sleep all day in the winter. I mean, I hate waking up. I'm like, if I don't have to wake up to do anything, like I don't want to wake up. Like on the weekends sometimes, if I don't have a show till late, I don't wake up till like 4 o'clock. And then I go and do my shows. That's how I mean, that's not healthy either. I mean, so I have to like literally force myself out of bed. I bought a treadmill last year because of that reason. I actually bought a treadmill because of the fact that I wasn't getting to my gym, which is 2 blocks from my house. So I bought a treadmill to walk and run on. So I would get some energy. I would get my energy up because I was like, I couldn't like leave the house sometimes, And that sounds so pathetic, but yeah, it's worse than I think it is. Like it's worse every year for me.
I'm the same way. When I went home for Christmas last month or 2 months ago now, it was so cold compared to 80 degrees in Florida, and I just hated every second. I watched a whole season of Marin on Netflix. I didn't want to leave the house, but once I came back to the warm weather, I was back at the gym. I was back doing my show. There is something about the cold weather that just makes me want to do absolutely nothing. I think it's because you go outside and your nose is frozen just grabbing the mail. I just can't deal with it. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And then it's dark.
Oh my God!
It's
yeah.
Dark. Like if now it's already dark already. It's been dark since 5 o'clock. It's dark. Like, and then it's like if it's that's the other thing. It's dark most of the day, so you don't get enough sunlight. And then, and New York is like a hustle and bustle. Like, it's like a hustle. Here, it's like you're on the train. There's a million people on the train. And then, it's like everyone's wet and smells. And it's like, from the snow. It's hard in New York. It's hard living in New York as it is. And then when the weather is bad, it just makes it so much worse because there's thousands of people, all the time, all around you. It's like, it makes it like you just want to like hibernate, Like it's a hibernate time, and it's hard because like a lot of stuff I do is I have to be proactive. What's the word? You have to be a self-starter. Whatever that means. And it's like if I don't want to do my shit, I don't want to do my shit. Like I want to like stay home and not do stuff, So I understand exactly how you feel. You're in Tampa. That's amazing. Like it's like you must be so happy there.
Oh, I don't even want to brag, but I've never been this happy. Like. And here's the thing that drives me nuts. Here's the thing that I cannot deal with. All these people that were born here, oh my God, it's so cold out. It's 58 degrees. Like, I get it's cold compared to 90 degrees, but I hate when they shiver. I'm like, you wouldn't survive a second in the Midwest. I can't deal with it. It's ridiculous.
They do that? That's annoying. I have to wear a sweater today. Oh my God, oh no, what am I going to do? Like, there's no air conditioning.
Wearing a scarf. Ridiculous.
Well, not used to it. It's like, I was in LA and it was actually not that, it was weird because I was in LA for like a week it was like getting cold. It was December.
Yeah.
Beginning of December. And it was like, it wasn't quite cold, but it was cold enough. But it was not warm in LA either. It was warmer than it is here, but it wasn't like hot. Like Mike Fischetti and I went for business, and Mike was like, I want to, go to the beach. I'm like, Mike, it's not beach weather. It's only 58 degrees. And it was cold at night. Like I was wearing my winter jacket at night in LA, but it wasn't like cold. It just wasn't, it wasn't really like, it wasn't beachy, it wasn't like Florida is. It wasn't Florida weather. People get confused. Like LA is going to be like Florida, but it's not like that. Mm-hmm. I remember having a show at the Aventura Theater 2 years ago, and it was very, very cold. It was in the middle of winter, and I went down there, and I was like, I'm never coming home. It was like the nicest weekend ever in Florida, and I was at the pool and taking the sun, and then I came back, and it was snowing when I got back. And I was like, ugh. It was the nicest weekend I ever had. It was like that was the best show because I got to go in the sun, and it really got me out of the winter blues. I'll tell you that much right now. It was like going down to Florida for just a weekend, like totally like got me out of the winter blues for a few weeks until the winter.
What part did you go to?
More down south, not my Fort Lauderdale area.
Yeah.
So it was really warm down there, and it was like, but it was really cold up here. So it was really it was really like being in summer, and it was nice to be out of the disgusting weather.
There are weird people down here, though. I can't describe it. Like when I went to the Midwest,
it has a bad reputation. I know it has there's all kinds of nuts. There's a woman that was caught with two monkeys. She was dead. Her husband was her boyfriend was like incapacitated, and there was two monkeys. I don't know what's going on down there in Florida.
People are fun down here. There's plenty of fun, normal people. But, like, if you go to, like, let's say Largo or Newport Richie, which is kind of like the armpit of the Bay Area, it just gets weird. And I don't hate on anybody because...
What do you mean by weird? What do you mean by weird? Like the kind of people that eat bath salts and bite people's faces off?
Kinda, and it gets a bit trashy, and it's just... It's hard to describe. It's sort of redneck. I think the thing is the sun's out all the time that it drives people crazy. Like... I think you need the mix of cold and then hot, because that's why the Midwest is more normal, and that's why the East is more normal. But the other thing is there's such a weird mix of people down here. There's the old people, there's the snowbirds, there's the people that lived here forever, there's the transplants like me, there's the immigrants. And when you mix it all in one area, it's absolute madness. Like, I can't describe it. Every day's an adventure. I swear to God.
I heard that Tampa women are like really easy. That's what I used to hear from like a lot of guys that like women down in, well, not all Tampa women, but like obviously I have very good friends who live in Tampa, but like there's something about Tampa women, they're outrageous. Is that true?
It's sort of true.
Not all of them, but not some women. Like there's a reputation about Tampa women. That's what I've heard.
there's not that much pride. Like when you go to like Cleveland or Chicago, places with like pride and like culture, it seems like the girls have more swagger because they're Cub fans or they're Brown fans. But it seems like down here, girls are more happy that it's hot out, so that might make them a bit more sluttier. I don't know. Tampa's just weird in general. It's hard to describe. I love it.
Pussy can turn a guy. I heard that Tampa pussy can make a guy go crazy. That's what I heard.
I think pussy just makes guys crazy in general. You know what I mean?
That's true. That is true. I think men do not know how to deal with women. I believe that. I totally believe that. I don't care how old they 20, 30, 40. They just can't deal with women.
I just got a girlfriend last week, so we'll see how this goes.
You bought her? You just bought her at Walmart. I just got myself a girlfriend. I went to the store and I ordered one. And, she came in the mail. She was great. So we'll see how it goes.
I said that the worst way. Yeah, I got myself a girlfriend. Then I got some,
Then I got some. I bought a rake, and I bought a shirt. I mean, it sounds like it. I bought 2 shirts.
I got everything at Walmart.
I bought her online though. It was I got her on sale on the clearance. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure she's very nice. How'd you get the girlfriend?
I met her via the good old app of Tinder. Who would have thought I'd meet girlfriend material on Tinder? Because I hooked up with one girl via the app, and I was like, all right, whatever. But this girl immediately was cool. She listened to the bone. She had no idea who I was because I'm just in promotions and I'm on air. But she's really cool. I mean, it's weird how when you get a girlfriend,
she's not star fucking you. She's not in it for the bone. Okay.
Oh yeah, because Ryan Hoppe, what a big name. That gets me so much pussy. Saying I'm Ryan Hoppe. I mean, it's
you never know. Maybe not this year. Maybe in 2 years from now. You never know how that name will be all over the world. So you never know, right?
How often do guys hit on you at the bar? Like after shows, maybe, or just at a bar? Like, does it get weird often? Because I've wanted to know what it's like to be a hot girl and just have dudes looking at you all the time. Yeah.
Me? I'm a hot girl. Well, I'm not so young actually, but I appreciate you saying that. It's like I don't know. I don't go to a lot of bars, but I don't know. People in New York, it's I'll get hit on. It's always, sometimes, but people don't really. I'm more on the road. I mean, people like I kind of don't really, other than, I don't know. I get hit on, but it's sometimes it's so gross that you don't even pay attention to it. But I never really meet a normal person that talks to me at a bar or something. It's never, and I don't really talk to men that often when I do shows that are strange. Like I don't go to bars after a show on the road because it's creepy. So I don't know. I mean, I don't get hit on by normal people, so I wouldn't know what that's like.
What do you think that is? Why are the weirdest guys coming up to you and hitting on you?
Because I'm a fucking magnet for weirdos. Like if there's like if you have a fucking disorder, like you're gonna like me.
What is it about you?
I don't know. Like I think that I think people just I believe that I'm nice, and I think the weirdos just always get attracted to me. And the normal guys are afraid to come. They're afraid to come over to me sometimes, so they don't talk to me. And I'll find out like years later, I liked you, but it was, I thought you were snotty. I'm like, what's snotty? I'm like, well, now you know. Great. When I was married, like someone would say to me like, oh, I liked you, but I was too, I didn't want to go over to you because I thought you would be mean. I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I was married and now I'm divorced. But so I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I've been single only for 3 years since my divorce, so it's I've dated like the worst guys ever. But besides that, I'm like maybe I shouldn't have. No, I'm happy I'm divorced, but it was like some of these men are just ridiculous, especially because the game changed. Like I got married. I was with my husband since 2002, right, which is probably when you were in kindergarten.
Second grade.
And I got divorced, and it was like 2012, 13.
Yeah.
The whole entire world changed. There's like everyone doing everything online. There's social media. There's like it's a different world. Like the world, literally, people are just texting each other. They don't talk. on the phone. So like I had to adjust to that. It was like being locked up in a space capsule and then being released into the world. Like dating in 2016 is very different than dating 15 years ago. So it was hard. And so I don't, guys are more avoidant than they used to be. They don't know how to talk to women as much. And I'm talking about men that are used to having to talk because they're in their 40s and 50s. So like, and 30s, like these aren't guys that grew up that way. So it's like people seem more avoidant than they used to be. They're not as, they treat you more like a left or a right swipe, you know? So I think it's different. And I feel like, I don't know the question was you asked me, I forgot, but
social media is ruining everything. I think we're going down a bad path. That good old movie Idiocracy is coming to life. Like, I just think by the day we're becoming more robotic and we're just,
totally.
It's getting bad.
Oh my God, I saw this thing on Showtime. It was called The Dark Net or something. It's a new series.
I'll have to check it out.
And yeah, I actually watched it. It was showing like the internet and dating, and there's one couple that was like they were like S&M couple like online, all right. Yeah. And then there was one, so they showed different people. That was creepy in itself. Like she would watch him all day long, and like tell him what to do, what to eat, and he would like show her everything he was eating, and like he had like a thing on his penis, like a penis cage, like almost like a chastity belt, and like. And it was like they had a virtual. They had gone out, and then like they were virtual because they lived far away. It was the whole thing was weird. But she was like a dom, you know, from afar.
Yeah,
and that creeped me out. All right. So then the creepiest thing was there was this Japanese guy, and he's like in Japan. He goes, I had a girlfriend. I could not give her love. I loved her very much, but I could not give her what she wanted. So she left me. But now I have a new girlfriend. That's a terrible Japanese American accent, but that's exactly how the voiceover sounded. And then all of a sudden you see him. And open his phone up, and he's dating a cartoon character named Ringo or Rango. It was the creepiest thing I've ever seen. And it wasn't even, she didn't even look realistic. Like, she was just this woman with a fucking face and, like little eyes, like, not Japanese eyes, but those, like, cartoon eyes and a little nose. Yeah. And, like, she looked like strawberry shortcake, but, like, a Japanese version of it. And she would just cry. She goes, and the cartoon would go, you do love me? I love you. Let's go to the park today. Oh, I love you so much. You really love me. And the tears would come down. I'm like, this is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. And these men were like, on dates with her. Their phone was open. They would be at a cafe with this fucking cartoon character. I'm like, this society is terrifying me right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be like rude or like creepy, but if you go on like porn, because I'm sure you go on it, there's like that anime porn, and it's weird to think that somebody spent their time drawing like Peter Griffin banging Lois or like gangbang really? Anime porn. Like, I mean, it gets.
I did Japanese anime. I did voices in the 90s. This is between us and the rest of the people listening. I did anime voices on 3 different movies: Bee City 1, Bee City 2, and Sins of the Sisters.
What's that like?
You can get it online. They sell them. And they were very, very pornographic, but they were more like monsters with 10 penises. You know, there's a lot of rape scenes. It was very violent. But
sexy.
Was, you know, I played a schoolgirl that was like desperately in love with this guy, Tatsuo. And I was in 3 of these movies. And like, yeah, they're crazy. People get off on these things, but these are just like pornographic cartoons. So people like do like Peter Griffin with a penis and stuff? Is that what they're doing now?
Oh, yeah. No, it's like side ads. It's like, come watch the best cartoon porn. And this isn't even me on a weird site. This is every porn site ever. Any guy can attest to this. There's the pop-up ads that show up, and you're like, God damn it. Like, there's always like 4 pop-up ads. It's like meet local singles, and it's some webcam, then it's like Family Guy. And it's just, it's weird to think that some dude spent his time drawing that and animating that. Like, that's what I find creepiest about it.
It's not that it's his own original cartoon. It's like somebody else's cartoon doing sex. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's like Family Guy, like sexually or something. Like,
it's something.
It's not even his original work.
I've never watched it. I just see like they'll show like frames, and I'll keep it clean, but they show frames, and I'm just like, dear God, like, who spends their time making this? Like, it takes so long to make a cartoon. Like, the fact that somebody spent the time of day to make that, It's weird how perverted people can get. Like, it's just weird how, like, demented it can get with dudes or girls. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Well, so I think once you're dealing with cartoon characters, you should check that. I think it's crazy what people, and when people do. But when you're like getting off on like a animation, then it might be a problem. I think maybe call me crazy, but once you're getting off on like a drawn caricature that doesn't even look like a human being, I think you might need to seek some sexual help. I don't know.
Here's what I think happens with dudes, because before I had a girlfriend, you feel bad.
How long did you date her before you became girlfriend and boyfriend?
Like 2 weeks.
Aw, how cute. That's so sweet.
So adorable, right? Like, you watch porn when you're by yourself, and it's just like you feel sad. So then you want to try something a little kinkier. So then you watch like MILF porn or something, and then that's the limit I had. But like, I feel like dudes, they get more desperate and more desperate, so they need to find the next fix to help them get off. And I think that's the biggest problem, is these are dudes that have nothing going on in their life, and it's some comfort zone. You have to have something going on where you find any of these gangbangs or anything that's weird porn, anything, cartoon or normal, to find that help you getting off. Like, there's just something wrong with people. Like, it's just getting worse.
People get addicted to porn that they can't stop watching it, and they can't have normal relations with a real woman. That's not true. I've heard about that. Like, a lot of men watch so much porn that they can't even like deal with being with a real girl. Or, they can't deal with it, and they end up not being able to get erect because they can't do it. They can't deal with the real person.
And you have to watch out for anybody who buys porn. Anybody who pays for a webcam or anybody who buys porn DVDs in 2016 is a weirdo, because you can get whatever you want online.
Really? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of porn. I never was into it. I have friends that were actually in porn, but I never actually watched their stuff. So I don't really like. I'm not into like porn. Never did it for me. Like, I don't like to watch other people doing stuff. And not that it's not judgmental. Like, I just don't. Something about watching people give other people, like, it just doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't excite me, but it doesn't. And I could like watch people kiss and things like that, but I don't like to watch anything graphic. And it's not. I'm not prudish at all. I just don't enjoy it. I'd rather be doing it. Sorry.
Everybody would, yeah.
Right. So I'd rather not. But doesn't really watching other people just kind of creeps me out more. But I know men is different. Men like to watch, like, the genitals, whatever. It's much more exciting for them. But I don't know. I didn't know that people that buy porn are more creepier than people that just get it for free. I didn't.
Well, just think about it. You're paying money to watch something you can get online for free, and then these dudes. Oh my God, they get so wrapped up in the webcams. Like, if you're paying...
What's the webcam? What is that?
You don't know about this? This is when you type to a girl and she's laying on the bed with like a vibrator, and you tell her what to do, and then you keep giving your credit card number, and she's like, I'll put it here.
How much do they get paid for that?
Oh, they make good money off of this. When I got laid off by the radio show in Cleveland, I was looking for jobs, and there were a lot of webcam openings in Lakewood, Ohio. I'm not sure why, but that's really big in Cleveland, webcam porn.
Men and women?
Yeah.
Men and women? Wow.
Yes.
And how much do they get paid for that stuff? How much do they make doing that stuff?
Up to $500 a scene.
A scene? And what do? They just have sex on camera, and then they...
That, or it's them touching themselves. Like, it gets weird.
Easy.
Like...
Put this in your butt, do this, right.
Yeah.
Eat this, right.
You can put it on your LinkedIn profile. It's definitely LinkedIn profile material. You know what I mean?
Of course. And having those people that were that into the very heavy women that were eating, like the feeding fetish. Did you see that? Where the woman that kept eating.
Yeah.
And she was like, and people would get off on her eating. Like the guys would like eat, make her eat. Like it was a webcam eating. She was like naked, and she would just eat like 100 hamburgers or something.
Or what's even weirder is just like swinging. I don't get it. Like, why are you passing around your girl or your guy? Like, to me, you're not happy in your relationship if you want to hook up with other people. Like, I got such an ego that I want to be the person that pleases my girlfriend, nobody else. Like, I have a weird, shallow ego.
I feel the same. I feel the same way, Ryan. Like I know people that have open relationships, and God bless them. They're great people, but I'm like, I would feel like too jealous. Like I'm a Scorpio, so I'd be super jealous. And first of all, like I'm really like I'm not a germaphobe at all, but I know I know a lot about safe sex because my friends they talk about it at schools. I do eating disorders, but they talk about safe sex, and diseases are very prevalent. Like it's you don't want to get shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know who people are with. It would gross me out a bit. Like if my boyfriend's penis was in somebody else and then he's with me, I just would be grossed out by it. If I knew about it, it would really make me upset. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old-fashioned type of gal. I don't know.
I feel like I'm old-fashioned, too. That's why I'm glad I have a girlfriend. I don't know if I'm meant to be a guy that just sleeps with women every week, and I feel like I would get too attached. I'm such a nice guy that it's cool. I've had casual sex with a few fans before, but it's weird after you're done. It's like, oh, yeah, I got to go now. It sort of feels good to have someone that you're with. You know what I mean?
No, I know it. I like that you have a girlfriend. It's great. And you met on Tinder, and you had instant chemistry, I'm assuming, and then you guys got along really well.
And she's awesome, too. Like, she's very cool. And a lot of girls in Tampa are dumb, and she's the opposite. I'm okay when a girl doesn't know everything, but when you're a dud and my kid knows more than you, that's when we have a problem. Like, she's cool with radio. A lot of girls were like, you need to play more music. It's like, because I do a talk show. So that's just kind of weird, too.
They said that to you? You play more music? That's funny.
Yeah, because when
what you do?
I don't play any music. They're like,
you should. Don't they know what you do? It's like, it's weird. It's like, no, I don't. I'm not a DJ. I'm a radio talk show host.
And then girls don't get it because they think of like the fake prank call morning shows. That's what they think is talk radio. So when they hear some dude speaking his mind, they're like, oh, that's offensive. Like just that whole thing that I want to ask you. Like, fake outrage is reaching an all-time high. Rudy Giuliani is mad at Peyton Manning's Budweiser promotion last night. It's like, what do you care? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Everyone's outraged by Beyonce's dance or whatever that she was wearing, the outfits. People get outraged over the dumbest
it's
things.
It's like, shut up. Oh, my God.
But then but no one's, but Flint, Michigan, like, we should be all outraged.
Thank you. Yes.
Like, we should, all be, including myself, like, we should all be, like, taking donations. We should, like, go there. I don't know. Like that's where the outrage should go. Am I wrong? Like, the outrage should be, like, when you see a homeless person in the freezing cold, like, that's the outrage. Like, where's the outrage, like, helping, abused women that are in shelters or the animals that are in shelters? Like, what the fuck is that outrage? Like,
exactly.
People are outraged. I'm offended by Beyonce's, Black Panther look and her lyrics. It wasn't good. I didn't like it. It was too offensive.
Johnny Manziel beat up a woman last week. Who cares? Ridiculous.
Yeah, and meanwhile, it's like they don't even know what's really going on. It's like it's called, it's fake outrage. It's easy to be.
Yeah.
It's easier to be fake outrage than real outrage because fake outrage doesn't really go into your core, but real outrage, that's like the core of our existence. And if we really feel our feelings, our society can't handle it. That's what I think on a psychological basis. If we get really outraged at the things we should, we would be, we really looked at things for what they are and not be in delusion. Because social media definitely is a form of fake outrage. The whole thing.
It's ruining it. Yeah.
And it creates fake outrage and allows people to, give their opinion about every stupid thing and every little, everything becomes like a major incident. Like everything becomes a major, and it's annoying. It's like things that aren't even like they become national news. It's like these aren't, Amy Schumer supposedly stealing a joke is not national news. Gives a fuck. It's a comedian.
What did you think of that?
I'll give my honest opinion about the whole thing. Want to hear my honest as a comedian? Yeah. Comedian? Okay. I don't know if she stole. I don't think she stole. But the jokes that she does do the thing that they did with the skits. Like I don't know how that could be parallel thinking. I don't know. Some of them they were different. They're that's a whole other thing. Skit to comedy is different to me. Like stand up to skit is a different art form. But the premise, when you write so personally as a comedian, and so if she wrote very personal, just about what, like her real experiences, her real life, her, not just tongue in cheek or trying to make you can't steal that. Like, if she wrote more about herself, that would never happen. You see what I'm saying? Like, when I was coming up as a comic after, the first few years, everyone was like, you got to be really original. You can't be stocky. All those premises that she did were all stocky premises.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use the word hack. It was stocky. The kind of stuff they're like, you could do that on the road, but you don't do that in the city, and that I think was really what was going on. I mean, the joke that she was parallel to Wendy Lieberman, which is pretty much the same joke, Wendy did in 1990. So I'm not saying Amy's not funny or she is funny. I'm not making a judgment on that. I'm saying if you're going to write really personal stuff, then no one could say you stole it.
I just think she got big real fast. It's weird to think that just 4 years ago, nobody knew who she was, and I would hear her talk about getting finger banged by a taxi driver on Opie and Anthony. That's the first time I heard her, and she was so original. Funny.
That's her real life story, exactly. So but what happened was with HBO, I don't think that special was. I'm not saying I'm a fan or not a fan. I'm saying I don't think that special. Growing up, like Bill Burr, for instance, been doing comedy. I think he's one of my favorite comedians out there for years. I used to work with him in Caroline's back in the day when I started. He was already headlining, but I used to do shows with the same lineup. One of the funniest guys, always writing, and he does very. He's very much him. Do you get what I'm saying?
He's real.
His experience is him. He's real. Like, and even if he has parallel thinking, it's like it's his own. It's Bill Burr's. It's coming from Bill Burr. Like, you can see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if her voice is fully developed yet, and I think that they're rushing her and pushing her. And I don't think that special is ready. To be honest, that's my opinion. Maybe people disagree. I don't know. I don't think
she's going down the path of Dane Cook. Is she going to be the next Dane Cook? Do you think, or no?
I think she needs to I think she should do her movies and her show. I like her show a lot. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I love her Inside show. And they do touch on things. I think as a stand-up, I think you can't do so much. Like, it's too much, I think she needs to, it takes a long time to develop really good stuff, and do a special. It doesn't, you have to be so focused on that, and she's obviously, you only have so many hours in the day. So she's doing a sitcom, she's doing movies. I think she needs to just focus on one thing, or two things, like maybe film, and then her stand-up just tour. Like, I think that's I don't think you could spread yourself that thin. I don't think that's possible. I'm just saying, and I would never call someone a thief if they say they didn't steal it. I believe them, but I'm just saying, you want to really write original. Those are all stocky premises that they were stolen. They weren't like original jokes. Like I do a joke about being a foot hooker. I was really a foot hooker. Now, if someone started doing the same joke about being a foot hooker and they weren't a foot hooker, then I'd be like, they stole it from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like these premises. So, like, people do GPS jokes. You hear people making fun of the GPS. That's a very hacky, stocky premise.
We got another.
And some of the jokes are funny, but they're stocky premises. People talk about certain types of things. Are very sex jokes. Obviously, I do a lot of sex in my act, but sometimes they're pretty. They're pretty. Like, people talk about different things very specifically. It's like these are just premises that people do, and some are stocky, some are more hacky. But I think when you really become a really great comic, like Richard Pryor, and I think a lot of these people are great comics. Nigero is really great. You really talk about you get more personal. You're very personal. Jim Norton's very personal.
Oh, he's great.
He's personal. Jim talks about his own experiences and his own stuff and his opinions. That's so personal that you can't copy that. It might be similar to somebody else, but it might be similar to somebody else, but that's Jim Norton. You know what I'm saying? Or that's Artie Lang or something. And I'm saying, I think that it takes a long time to develop that much time and be very original and make it work. And I think that's something that, as an artist, someone needs to look at. I know for myself how I'm hard on myself and my material, wanting it to be original and stuff. So, in my point of view, being original. So I know how hard that must be if I had to put out something quickly. So I sympathize with that, but at the same time, you also want to make sure that you're honoring your comedy, I think. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, It makes perfect sense.
I don't think she's a thief. I just think she needs to work on. I think, and I'm not one to talk. She's a successful comedian. She's making millions of dollars, but just as an artist, just like start really working on your own points of view, not just about very general. Like get deeper. I think the great Patrice O'Neill said to me, I never forgot this. In 2002, I started doing stand-up. It was my first year doing stand-up. I walked into the Boston Comedy Club. Patrice said, I was, young, pretty thing back then. And I was wearing tight leather pants. I'd say this is weird. I was wearing tight leather pants, a nice, tight jersey. And he's like, I didn't know who Patrice was really. I didn't know who he was. He was just he was famous, but I didn't really know who he was kind of, 'cause I was new in the business. And he's like, I go, hey, I want to watch the show. I'm a comic. I just came for the show down the street. I did a small show down the street. He's like, just because you're pretty and you think you're all cute don't mean you could be a comic just by going up there and looking all pretty. He goes like that to me. He's like, you got to get deep, girl. I'm like, well, he didn't even see my act. He was just telling me that was his advice to me. And I was like, I said, yeah, I'm trying to do that. Like, that's what I'm doing. I said, but I'm trying to do that. I'm still new to it, but I'm trying. I'm trying to learn how to dig deep because I knew about that because Rick Shapiro was one of my mentors growing up. As a comic, and he's like, yeah, he's like, you got to talk about things that are real and things that are, just you and very personal and really go, dig into them. And Patrice did the same thing to me, and I never forgot that. I mean, not every joke's going to be so deep and real and intense, but that's what you go for, I think, for me at least. I mean, you go for it, and then you see where it happens. At least you're trying to go to that direction. So when Patrice said that to me, it did resonate a lot because, I didn't think I can get by being a cute girl, but I knew that where I had to go as an artist, as a comedian, I know it sounds like as an artist, that you had to really sort of be as most original as you could be, and there's obviously you want to, and when, I do the road, I've done West Virginia, I've done down south, I've done, the Midwest, and you sometimes you have to be sort of general and broad. You do. I mean, when I was in West Virginia performing in front of coal miners, I had to be simple. I'm not kidding. Like none of the kind of stuff that was kind of subtle worked. It didn't work. So for the second show, I said, I have to be simple. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, you have to be, you have to know your audience a little bit and be able to switch around stuff. I have very dirty punchlines and very cleaner punchlines, just the same jokes. Like the other thing I learned to do. So I think, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I mean, I wish everyone the best. Like I don't ever want to put another comedian down. It's hard enough as a woman, they say in comedy, it is freaking hard. And I'm not being like, it's hard. These bookers are scummy. They say, they sexualize you. Even at my age, they're sexualizing me. So, it's not easy. And I wish Amy the best of luck. I hope she does amazing, great things. And she is good for women, all of us in a way. Because she's people are respecting her as a comedian, and God bless her, And I love her. I love Wendy, and I love Tammy, and I love the other women too. So I mean, I wish everyone, like I always wish people good luck in their career, and I hope everyone, women get a good, do well.
What are some of the worst things that these bookers have done to like women comedians?
Oh God. Well, I remember I worked years ago, and this guy was like, he called the show Ladies of the Night.
Oh my God.
He's like, and we have a show, Ladies of the Night. I'm like, oh my God. It's not like we're hookers coming on stage. And then one guy's like, she has really nice tits, and she's here in whatever Waukesha, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Men are the worst. Oh my God. I bet there are a bunch of like Al Bundys.
Well, we've been doing shows 35 years. I mean, I've had that. You're funny for a woman. Typical fucking nonsense that they give you. Just nonsense. A lot of nonsense. There's a lot of sexism. I mean, to be a comedy booker, if you're not a comedian and you're booking comedy for like 30 years, like it's weird. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, either you have to really love comedy and respect it, or you have to be really weird. That's my opinion. I know the bookers are like, they hate me now, but it's true. Like if you, it's like there's something weird about bookers. I always find, unless they're comedians that want to work, I always find they're really strange.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not a comedian and you're booking comedy, it's like, why?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It's the same thing with like people who break down radio or these radio consultants. It's failed radio DJs that couldn't make it work, but they want to be around the business. I feel like that's what it is with bookers. These guys weren't funny, but they love the business. So any way to be around it gives them this weird ego. Am I right about that?
Yeah, some of them, yes. And then obviously there's some wonderful bookers I worked for over the years. I've been very supportive, and I love them. So I'm not talking about those guys. You know what I'm saying? But and they love they really truly are fans of comedy and diverse types of comedy. Those are the bookers I like to work for. There are real fans of comedy that book comedy and respect comedy as an art form. Then there are people that just want to sell tickets and get people in seats. It is a business. But I think that, if you have a mixture of the two, you have a good booker. Someone who knows about the PR and that really loves comedy and understands it and respects it and knows how to market their comedians correctly are the best types of bookers. That's what I find for me. And, the others, and there's a lot of, and the bookers come and go, that obviously, but I think the ones that you're talking about, the failed ones or the ones that never were funny, those are the worst type. They're bitter, they're angry, they're controlling. I don't like that. Those types I don't like. But I like the kind of people that really respect the art and like understand it and understand what we go through. Those are the best people to work for. Because it's hard traveling, going to a new city. It's scary going to a new city and doing your 45 minutes of material. You don't know a lot of times you don't know how people are going to take you, or if they're like, a lot of times people are drunk before you even get, a lot of alcohol. The only thing I did recognize in this country, there's a lot of alcoholism. I've performed everywhere. That's the common factor. People like to get drunk. You know what I'm saying? A lot of drinking. And, but that's what people get drunk. They want to laugh. They want to escape their problems. And if you could do that for them for like 45 minutes, an hour, then you've done God's work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've done God's work. I've done the devil's work, but, you've done someone's work. But I think. That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder how I ended up as a comedian. I really do. I don't know where it came from and how fucked up my life was that I was like, all right, I'm going to go and tell jokes about the deepest things in my life to strangers. I don't know where those came from, but I do it and I enjoy it. And when it works, it really feels good, so, and I like to hear people laugh and, every once in a while you get that patient, a cancer patient will come to your show and they're laughing and they hug you. Thank you for the hour that you gave me of joy. And like that, that sometimes makes it all worth it, So that's what I think. I think that if you could do that for one person, then you've done your job, And if you offended the other 95 people, then that's even better.
Now, where do you want to see yourself in 5 years?
I want the sitcom on. I want the sitcom running as long as it will run, and till it gets into syndication. I want to do a film again. I want to do a film. I haven't done a film in many years, and I want to be on the radio. Actually, I want a radio show.
That sounds awesome. You would definitely be good on the radio because I like your podcast, and when you're on Artie's show, you're definitely very good at it.
Thank you. Do you listen to all the shows? Do you listen to Bob and Artie and all those guys? Well, you're a big Anthony. Were you a big Opie and Anthony fan?
I love Anthony. I listen when I can.
He is the nicest guy. Yeah, he's a great guy. I didn't really know. I came from Howard Stern. That's like I was on the show a few times back in the 90s. Actually not that long ago. 2003, 2002. I was on the show right before they went to Sirius, and I never really knew Opie and Anthony, now Opie and Jim. I didn't know those guys because I knew Jim very well, but from comedy. But I didn't know O&A that well. And then this year, I was lucky to meet Anthony, and I did the show a few times. And I love him. I adore him to death. I think he's amazingly talented, And but I think all those. Because I remember it was funny because I did a special, a comedy special. It was funny. I had like a lot of the Howard Stern people were there, not fans of people that worked on the show. And then I had like, Big A, who's big, Opie and I was like, all came together. And I was like, this is like funny because like it's all coming together because I know a lot of people are doing like a lot of the Stern people like starring John. They did Anthony's show over the year. And, but so everyone's sort of like radio is kind of like mixing together, I think now a little bit.
What's Howard like?
Artie show.
What's Howard like?
What I remember, he was very it's a very well-oiled machine. Like I'm sure most radio shows are, but this was like so well-oiled. The way it was worked, it was like perfectly. Everyone's timing was perfect on the show. I've never seen anything like it. And this was when Artie was on the show too. So, and he was just really nice to me. I mean, he shook my hand. How are you? I didn't really have much interaction with him. I know the staff very well. Like I knew the staff, but I didn't really talk to Howard too much. And Robin was they're just nice people. They're just like, like nice in terms of like being a guest or something. But I didn't really get it. He was very tall, I remember.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of a memory of like what he was like as a person because I didn't get to speak to him, but it was fun. He was very nice to me. He said I was a very good actress and stuff because I fooled him thinking I was a porn star. He was very funny and nice to me that way. And it's funny. I had his daughters, his first wife had a birthday party when I was doing Grandma Sylvia's funeral with Steve Grillo back in like the 90s when you were really young. You're probably not born yet, but I'm kidding. I'm joking. But he had the birthday party for his daughters at the show. They had it just for his family. So his wife, his ex-wife, was there, and all his kids and his mom and dad and the friends. So I met the whole family, and they were really nice. But he wasn't there for some reason, which is really odd. And the kids are now grown. But I remember, like, I had a lot of connections with they were very nice. And I just remember him always being, when I did the show, always being nice to me, basically. I don't remember I don't have other memories of him because I didn't really talk to him, but he was a good guy. And he runs a tight ship. That's what I have to say. That ship is tight as anything I've ever seen in my life.
I think the reason he worked and Ron worked and Ron and Fez worked or these guys are original. Yeah, they might be shock jocks or whatever the media wants to say, but there are so many people in radio that had a good run that copied the hell out of Howard. Some of them are on now, but the thing is, Howard's the originator, and you can see how him, Opie, Anthony Show, Bennington, they're all rejuvenating themselves. And then you see these guys that are just in the 90s doing the same,
yeah, totally.
Anti-women crap.
I did Bennington I did Bennington this year. I loved it. It was so much fun. Him and his daughter, they're so nice. They're great people. Like, I find, like, all these people felt, I guess, well, and then I think the thing is we're just open. Like, I don't think anyone's being shocking. I think people are just not, they tell their opinions, they speak their mind. And I think that's what Howard gave us. And then I think that's why people are called shock jocks. But
it's the worst word. I hate it.
Right. And I don't like that term because, it's like it's not what it is anymore. It's like we're not in the 90s or the 80s anymore. We're just a society that wants to be honest. And I think that the more honest we are, especially radio, for some reason radio and honesty need to go hand in hand because it's a very auditory. When people listen, it's like when you do meditation tapes or something, like it really gets into your head. So I think the more honest people you hear somebody else being on the radio, the more honest people will be with themselves and their opinions, and that false outrage stuff starts to stop.
How amazing is meditating? I do it at least 3 times a week, and I love it.
Good for you. I started doing it because I get into very dark depression.
Me too.
Very severe. And I can get out of them very quickly, and I can get in them very quickly. Or they call me bipolar. I don't know. But I basically do it. I started doing it I found these on YouTube, and I just put it on and close my eyes, and it puts me in such a better state of mind. And it shuts down all the voices in your head and all the negative talk. And, it's really healthy to do that because I think we're bombarded every day in the media with crap.
Oh, yeah.
Like between television and social media, too. Like the images of things we see are so awful. Like some things that people post and they're trying to make a point. And some are just so awful sometimes. It's like I can't look at this all day. And sometimes I have to shut down social media because I can't handle it, and then, I get trolled a lot on, people write messages.
Oh, me too. They're all pussies hiding behind their keyboard like antisocial douchebags. It's ridiculous.
It's freaky. I'm like, do you realize, like, I'm a grown woman? Like, I think people don't realize, like, I'm a grown woman. Like, what are you doing? Like, Like, you're not, like, on my level. Like, I mean, these are kids. I mean, they could be my children. Like, that's the thing that's so crazy about it. Like I said, you're talking to the wrong one. Like, I don't care what you say to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just nonsense. It's like stupid stuff they write. They're not even, like, smart about it. They're not even, like, trying to debate me, like, or, like, they just say obnoxious things. And I'm like, you're weird. It's weird to me. Like,
you're hiding behind a keyboard. Me. You're a loser.
I can't stand that. I mean, the trolling, like, whoever thinks that they're finding empowerment through trolling, they should stop. And there should be, like, a 12-step group for Trollers Anonymous.
It's so true, because these are people that hate their lives, and they get some little trip or some little power trip out of ripping people. And I just don't know how you look yourself in the mirror and you're proud of the fact that you talk shit behind a keyboard. Like, you are a lame
like
person.
Like a forum or something.
Yeah.
Or like on YouTube. You ever heard YouTube comments? I'm like, it's crazy. It doesn't even make sense. It's like you watch a video about birds and then also, like, they're talking about black people being, like, weird or something. Like, it's like, how do you get from, like how do you, like, how is race coming? It's like, just, it's so weird. Like, I don't know who these people are. I mean, either they're very young and immature, like they're 14, or they're like
middle-aged. It's all middle-aged dudes.
Or creepy weirdos that don't have a voice in their home or something. I don't know where these people are coming from. It's scary, actually. It's like, it's a little scary to me that there are people like that out there that exist. That I think, I don't know, call me crazy, but
I agree with you. I worked on the biggest show in Cleveland for about 3 months, and there was this petition online to get me fired, and I had over 2,000 signatures just because it was the joke to sign it. There were some mean comments when I got laid off from the show. I hope you never work in radio again. Nobody loves you. You're a loser. You're a piece of shit. Then when I got hired, oh, this is a lateral move. That's what the host of the show said. And it's like, why are you spending your life being so negative? Like, it's a sad thing when radio hosts or people on Twitter have to rip other people for entertainment. I will never respect that. It's lame and it's easy.
It doesn't make sense. Like,
I know.
Like, you know, it's like these people, like radio people specifically, like the Howard people and any radio show, they're really weird people. Like, they don't, you know, like I remember, like, Artie got catfished like a couple months ago. Like, I don't get it. Like just like I don't know who these people are. Just listen to the show, enjoy it, or don't listen to it. I don't know why your life is so, like, people get so angry at Howard if he does something different or wrong or I don't understand. I don't understand it, actually. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't get emotionally involved with people that I watch on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, or listen to the radio. I don't get emotionally involved. Why are other people getting emotionally involved with, like, radio? Talk show hosts or something.
They get so
into it. It's
not
like you said something that upset them. It's like your existence is upsetting them. It's like, doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would it? Like, who are these people? Like, are they that? Like, that's what I don't get. Radio people, listeners are scary. The fan, and I mean fans in a good way. Like, they're weird. Like, I call them fans because some of them are fans because I don't even know who they are because they're fake Twitter bots. You know, like, so. I don't even know what their end game is, but knowing, you know, trolls, no one gives a shit. Like, you're wasting your time. Like, go to therapy. Like, go volunteer your time somewhere. Unless you're, like, totally mentally retarded, and I mean that, and I don't mean retarded like a person that's really retarded, because people that are really retarded are getting the help they need, and they're always, like, doing well. It's the people that aren't retarded, that act retarded, that are retarded. That just was horrible. But
I know exactly what you mean. Like, it's just weird. Like, this wasn't around 10 years ago. Like, I was thinking about it. Like, when I wasn't using my phone, when I was, like, just doing things the last few days, I've been trying to not use Twitter as much. I feel like I'm in 2008 again. Like, it's so relaxing to, like, listen to music and then, like, enjoy the day. It's weird.
Do you find that? Like, you'll be on your phone, like, and just, like, going from Twitter to Facebook to, like,
yeah.
And then you're like, oh, my God, it's 3 hours from now. What did you do? I was on my phone all day looking at media, and then a video popped up of a dog licking a cat, and then I watched 2 horses giving birth. That's true. The other day I watched horses giving birth. It was, like, fascinating. And then, you know, I'm like, and then guess what? It's 8 o'clock at night, and guess when I got up? 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's what I've been doing from 2 to 8. And then And I'm like, I have a problem. This has to stop.
I've had plenty of days like that too. It gets weird. Like, it's just, I feel like things were different when it was like MySpace and YouTube was first out. But there's so much being thrown at us that we feel like we have to watch everything. Netflix, video games, TV, internet. I just feel like we need to take a break, which is why meditating is so good, is everything gets shut off for a while. You know what I mean?
Well, I have to shut off. Like, I have to consciously shut down my, I noticed that I would get up and not even check my emails. I would check my Facebook and Twitter before I would check my emails, and I would have jobs. Like, I would have to respond to a job offer from my agent, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm not even doing my, I have to you know what I'm saying? I should be on my email like a normal person.
Yeah.
So I'm on my Facebook. Before I was on my email, I'm like, oh my God, this is bad. And I'm like, this was sent to me 8:00 in the morning. I didn't see it. Like that's when I realized I had a problem. I mean, I think social media, I guarantee in the next few years is going to be 12 steps. If not yet, I bet you there's going to be 12 steps for social media.
I never thought of that. That is
recover.
Genius. Never thought of that.
I guarantee there's groups forming. And I think that it's causing love addiction, because people stalk their exes all the time, and you can't help it. Like, people do it. Like back in the day when you were younger, probably, even I don't know, how old were you, 21? How old were you?
22.
25. Okay, 22. Okay, so when you were 15, right, and you dated somebody, right, or 16 maybe?
Yeah.
You didn't have social. It wasn't big back then, was it? No.
It was out, but it wasn't as in your face. You know what I mean?
You couldn't track somebody, right? So this, I didn't grow up with that. I'm older than you. I can, whatever. It's no big deal. But I didn't grow up that way. You broke up with somebody, you didn't take their phone call. You know what I'm saying? Or you that was the big. You didn't call them. Okay, we didn't. So it was easy. You wouldn't know that what they were doing. You wouldn't see if you bumped into them on the street with them. That was the worst of it. Right? You see them with the new girlfriend, the boyfriend. That was the worst of it. Now it's you break up with somebody, you see that they're their boyfriend. You can't. It's almost like you can't help it. You're gonna look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's like looking at a bad car wreck. You don't want to look, but you kind of have to.
I never look at car wrecks. I hate looking at that. You know what I mean? I'm the one guy that just wants to get somewhere.
Good. But you know how people have to look at a negative thing?
Yeah.
Or look at something like if someone said, Ryan, your ex, just go on your ex-girlfriend's page. Look at your ex-girlfriend's page. You would do it. Look at her new boyfriend. Is he ugly? You'd be like, oh God, he's so ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's that's what people do now. You can't escape your ex lovers or your ex, or ex best friend. Everything is in your face, so you can't let things go. Almost, I think. So it's causing a lot of people to get addicted to, it's addicting. You see what I'm saying? You can't release the past as easy. It's in your face. Then Facebook memories. My friend lost her boyfriend he died on her 2 years ago, and every that stupid memory thing on Facebook, which is 5 years ago today, and then it's a picture of her and the boyfriend, and it's very painful for her. He passed away, he died, and it was very painful. And now they're showing them, and she looks at pictures of him, but it's thrown in her face, it's worse. So it's you can't escape the past.
The same thing happened to me because my dad died of cancer about 15 months ago.
I'm so sorry.
And what happened was it was the 10th anniversary of Facebook, and they were like, here are your best moments. And they went by how many likes you had. I was like, fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg. It was annoying. You know what I mean?
Oh, my dad died today. Best moments of Facebook. I mean, I'm saying it's very.
Yeah.
I'm sure, and you know what? And it's so triggering for so many people on so many levels like that. Having someone die or a breakup or something you want to let go of. It's becoming something where I think it's causing people a lot of stress and pain, and I think that on a deep level, it's going to be a problem in the next couple of years. I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people going into therapy and groups for this very specific reason, because it's not allowing you to. It's hard enough. We used to have photo albums. You just look through it. Now it's thrown in our faces every day, and it's hard. It takes a lot, and it takes a lot of willpower not to look at stuff like an ex-boyfriend or a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or to it's I've talked to other people about this, where they I couldn't help it. I had to look at my ex-girlfriend's Instagram. She had a great ass. I mean, I've seen that with men too. when they get upset, so it's like it creates like this obsession in people where they can't release the past and move on. And I think that it's going to be a problem where people are actually going to go for help for it, and like, you know, it's going to drive them crazy, and eventually it's going to, like, I think social media is going to like sort of like die out. I have a feeling somehow it's going to take it's going to sort of get monetized in a way where people have to pay for it.
Yes.
And I think somehow, I don't know how or why, it's going to sort of like die out in a way. I don't know what. I just see it. Hopefully it will a little bit, because I think it's too much.
You could write a book on this. You just changed the way I look at everything. I swear to God.
Really?
I never thought about how like there's going to be like social media interventions and therapy. Like you just effed with my mind. I never thought of that, you know?
Can you imagine that intervention? Like you get the chairs out, like, Ryan, you weren't present during our wedding. All you did was look at your Facebook the entire time. You're my brother, Ryan. You were at the podium looking at your Facebook.
It's so true because it's sad. That's what's so real about it.
Tweeting the entire time.
You were just periscoping the whole time. You weren't even at the wedding. You were just on Periscope.
Right. You were more interested in what your stupid Periscope followers felt than your own family. Your own wife. Your girlfriend is going to be your wife, and so it'd be like, yes, you were Periscoping, and when you said to me, now kiss the bride, you missed my face.
You tried to get a Vine of it, and you didn't care about me.
Right, you tried to get a Vine. You didn't even kiss me when the guy said you kiss the bride. You kissed your phone instead. You
were mad that I used the wrong filter on the Instagram post.
That's hysterical. You used Brooklyn instead of Savannah.
And the best part is this is going to happen. It's not even like some joke on a TV show. Like, this is going to happen in like 6 years. There are going to be conversations like this. I promise you.
No, if I ever get married again, there'll be no cell phone pictures allowed. No one's allowed to take a camera.
Really?
You have to either be at the wedding. No, I'm going to pay for a wedding. Like this is what I hate. I go to weddings and people are just taking pictures the whole time. Like, they're like not even listening to the wedding. Like, I'm paying $2,500 for a photographer, or $3,000, whatever. It's expensive for. I don't want your pictures. Like everyone needs to put their phone away. Like, I'm going to say that if I ever get married again, no phones allowed. Like, in terms, do not take your phone out during my ceremony. Do not take your phone out during, like, you can take pictures and stuff, but like no phones during my ceremony. Like, I think that's the other thing. Like, people go to their kids' plays and they're not even watching the kid; they're watching it through the screen. That's another thing comics will talk about. Like, they're not even watching the event. They're like, they're filming the event, but they're not being present at the event. Like, people have to start being present in their lives and showing up, and you can't. That's the thing. The other thing that's driving me. You can take a picture here and there, but enough with the fucking videoing your kids. Like, watch the kids' performance. Pay for they always charge like $20 or $50 for the fucking video for the recital. Pay for the video and watch your kid perform. That's the thing that drives me nuts. No video cameras allowed. Pay for the fucking video and watch your kid. That's my new. Hire a videographer. He'll film the thing, and that's the end of that. And
that's
be present at the
perfectly said. Or how about the people that have to Periscope comedy shows? I know Jim Florentine is a big fan of that.
Well, he does. I haven't seen his part. What does he do?
Oh, he has ripped apart people who Periscope his show on his podcast. He'll tell them to turn it off. He hates Periscope more than anything.
I don't like when people. Oh my God, I don't like when people film me. If someone films my act, it's a big deal. Like, that's a bad. Like, I don't put a lot of stuff online for at all. Like, I'll put a video. I have stuff because if someone steals something, and that's how people steal. That's when people steal, when you're not on television.
Yeah.
And you have good bits. That's how people steal. Not famous people, like other a road comic will steal jokes. And it happens to my ex-husband all the time. So we only put like very few videos up online. So if you look online for me, I don't have a lot of video up. And the video I have up is at most 15 minutes. Never put long sets up, ever. And I'll put just little compilation sets. And some of them are old. I don't even do those jokes anymore, so I don't give a shit. But yeah, I mean, comics do not want you to film their sets. Like, it's a very big no because A, it's like, you know, you're paying money for it. B, it's gross. Like, and I don't blame Jim Florentine for doing that at all. Like, you know, like I would totally do the same thing. It's like, it's very personal, and sometimes you're trying out new stuff and it's not ready or it is ready. It's like you don't want that online, and then people post it online, and it's a big copyright infringement too. So there's a lot of things going. Yeah, like I hate that. Do not periscope if you watch a comedy show, people, do not periscope it. Do not film it. You can take a picture of it, you know, like a snapshot, but do not ever film a comedy show. It's a big no-no, huge no-no.
Now, where can people find your work online? So the videos that you do like, the ones that aren't illegal, where can they find them?
Just go to Stacey Prussman. You'll see two old ones and one newer comedy video. They're like 5-minute. One's an old 5-minute compilation. One's really old, like really, really old, and then one's new. I put up from like a few months ago. But that's all that's really up there right now. And then I have the Stacey Prussman Hour. Go on, you know, I guess Google it. I guess Podomatic is my server, or iTunes. I think it goes through iTunes as well. And just go to my website and it'll take you everywhere, you know. But just if you want to listen to, you know, the podcast is the Stacey Prussman Hour. The YouTube, Stacey Prussman. I didn't put them up yet, but I'm going to try to YouTube my podcast. So they're just like, you can listen to on YouTube, you know, because it's easier for people sometimes to do that. But right now it's on Podomatic. And basically that's it. Just my name, STACEY PRUSSMAN, and or StaceyComic.com. And it's not hard to find people nowadays you know, like it ain't hard to find people online. So just take my name, Google it, and you find everything you need.
This has been a really fun episode. It's going on an hour and 20 minutes, but it feels like a half an hour. Like killed it. This has been so much fun. Thank you,
Ryan. And I love you. I always follow you, and I wish you only success. And I hope to get down to Tampa and do a show down there. Actually, I'm trying to get down there. I've been trying to get down there for a while, but I'm going to try to come down there, and I'll come see you.
Sounds good. I'll have you live here, and then I'll send you the info to the two comedy clubs down here, too.
Oh, yeah, send it to me. Thank you, Ron. You've been an awesome host. All the best to you, and good luck with the girlfriend. And thank you for having me on the Hoppe Hour, right? It's the Hoppe Hour?
Hoppe.
The Hoppe Hour. Oh, HOPPE, the Hoppe Hour. I like it.
Happy Hour, Hoppe Hour. It's a play on words.
I like it. The Hoppe Hour. Stay strong. Stay funny. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'm rooting for you.
Sounds good. Keep up the good work, and let me know what's going on with the sitcom so I can update everyone.
Of course. Well, let's hope it gets filmed in the next couple of months. So
sounds good.
Fingers crossed. All the best to you. Be well.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.